The power grid has been dark for 11 hours. Cell towers went silent 6 hours after that. Your neighbor, the one who always waved, tried breaking into your garage at 3 a.m., and you heard him testing your door handles before shuffling to the next house. The police scanner you dug out of your dad's garage plays nothing but static and one looping emergency broadcast that cuts off mid-sentence. According to the last news report you caught, you have maybe 36 hours before the water treatment plants fail completely, and the grocery stores become free fire zones. No worries. We're going to fix this using physics, spite, and the kind of decisions that would horrify your past self. Nobody tells you this about the first 48 hours of a real collapse. It's not the bombs that kill most people, not radiation, not foreign soldiers, not even the riots. It's you. Specifically, it's 4 mistakes your brain is hardwired to make because you've spent your entire life in a world where consequences took weeks to arrive, and help was always 20 minutes away. That world is gone. These mistakes aren't stupid. They're evolutionary. But evolution didn't prepare you for this, and if you make even one of them in the next 2 days, you're going to become a statistic before the week is out. My job is to make sure you're not that statistic. Your job is to listen like your life depends on it. Because it does. The freezing mistake. Everyone thinks the same thing. I'll stay inside, lock the doors, wait it out. I've got blankets. I've got a coat. I'll be fine. Reality check. Your house is a thermal leak with windows, and your body is a furnace that runs on calories you don't have. When the grid dies, so does your heating. Most modern homes lose heat at a rate of about 1 degree per hour in winter conditions. Within 12 hours, your interior temperature matches the outside, let's say 35 degrees Fahrenheit, because we're being generous. Your body maintains 98.6 degrees by burning calories. In a cold environment, you're burning up to 3 times your normal metabolic rate just shivering. That's anywhere from 3,600 to 5,000 calories a day. You probably have 1,200 calories worth of food you're willing to eat in your pantry right now, and you're going to ration it like an idiot because you think this is temporary. It's not temporary. And in 36 hours, your core temperature will drop below 95 degrees, and you'll enter hypothermia. You'll feel tired. You'll want to sleep. You'll make mistakes, critical ones, like leaving your safe space to just check if the power is back, or thinking you can make it to your car. You'll die warm in your own bed, which sounds poetic until you realize you're just a frozen popsicle wearing pajamas. The fix involves building a survival nest in the smallest room in your house. Bathrooms are ideal, small volume, easier to heat. Strip every blanket, curtain, and piece of fabric you own. Hang them over the doorway in layers to create a thermal curtain. Stuff towels at the base. Now fill empty water bottles with hot water. Boil it on your camp stove or grill before the propane runs out. And use them as heat batteries. Place them around your core, chest, armpits, groin. Wrap yourself in layers of dry clothing. Use trash bags as vapor barriers between layers to trap heat. Sleep in a sleeping bag if you have one, inside a smaller makeshift tent made of blankets hung from the shower rod. You've just created a microclimate that can maintain 20 degrees warmer than the rest of your house using zero electricity. The science is surface area to volume ratio. Your body is constantly radiating heat. A normal bedroom has maybe 2,000 cubic feet of air to heat. A bathroom has 200. You've just reduced your heating problem by 90%. Those hot water bottles? They stay warm for hours because water has an incredibly high specific heat capacity. It stores thermal energy, like a battery. The trash bag vapor barrier prevents your sweat from soaking your inner layers, which would wick heat away from your body 30 times faster than dry air. Outcome: you're not comfortable, but you're alive and functional. That's 8 hours of sleep without burning through glycogen reserves. That's cognitive function when everyone else is hypothermic and stupid. That's the difference between making good decisions on day 2 and becoming a cautionary tale. The water panic mistake. The myth sounds reasonable. I need to fill my bathtub right now and hoard every container I can find. What actually happens will kill you. You fill your bathtub with 40 gallons of water from pipes that have been sitting stagnant, potentially contaminated by backflow from the dying municipal system. You don't seal it. Dust, debris, and airborne bacteria turn it into a bacterial swimming pool within 72 hours. You drink it anyway because you're thirsty and stupid, and now you have dysentery. In a collapse scenario, diarrhea is a death sentence. You'll lose fluids faster than you can replace them, and you'll be too weak to defend yourself, forage, or think clearly. You'll die on a toilet, which is both ironic and pathetic. The real problem is timing. Everyone does this at the same time. When WW3 kicks off, the first thing people do is flush their toilets in panic, wash their hands 8 times, and turn on every tap to fill containers. The water pressure drops to nothing within 2 hours. By the time you think to fill your bathtub, you're getting the last trickle of whatever was in the pipes. And it's not good. Forget the bathtub. Right now, before anything happens, you fill clean containers. 2-liter soda bottles work perfectly, with tap water, and add 2 drops of unscented bleach per liter. Seal them. Store them in a dark, cool place. That's your clean water reserve, and it's good for 6 months. When the collapse hits, you don't touch the taps. You already have 10 to 15 gallons stored, which is enough for 5 to 7 days of drinking water for one person at 2 liters per day. Now, the clever part, you're going to create a water purification system using trash. Take a 2-liter bottle, cut the bottom off, flip it upside down so it's a funnel. Layer it from bottom to top. Coffee filter. Activated charcoal from a crushed water filter or aquarium supply. Sand, gravel, another coffee filter. Pour questionable water through this. It filters out sediment and many pathogens. It's not perfect, but it's 80% effective. Then you boil the output for 1 full minute. Congratulations, you've just made water that won't kill you. The science. Boiling kills bacteria, viruses, and parasites through thermal denaturation. You're literally cooking the proteins they need to survive. The filter removes particulates and some chemical contaminants. Activated charcoal has a massive surface area riddled with pores that trap organic compounds through adsorption. You've created a multi-barrier purification system for about $3 in materials. Outcome: you're hydrated with clean water while your neighbors are either dying of thirst or dying of cholera. You're thinking clearly. Your kidneys work. You're not one of the 60% of early casualties who die from contaminated water. The visibility mistake. People do this without thinking. They keep their lights on at night, or they use flashlights, or they cook food that smells like food, or they charge their phones and the glow from the screen is visible through windows. Why, that's lethal. In a blackout, light is a beacon. It says, resources here. It says, someone is comfortable enough to waste energy on illumination. It says, come rob me. Human eyes can detect a candle flame from up to 1.6 miles away on a clear night. A flashlight? Much farther. You're essentially sending up a signal flare that screams, I have batteries, food, and probably other things worth taking. Within 48 hours of a real collapse, the streets aren't safe. Desperate people become dangerous people. The social contract dissolves faster than you think, because it was always held together by the assumption that consequences existed. No police means no consequences. No consequences means the only thing stopping someone from taking your stuff is your ability to stop them. You can't stop them if they know where you are. Blackout discipline becomes your religion. Cover every window with dark fabric. Garbage bags work, blankets work better. Use layers. No light escapes. If you need light, you're using a small LED headlamp set to red light mode. Red wavelengths don't travel as far and don't destroy your night vision. You're using it inside a small enclosed space, like your bathroom nest, where no light leaks. Better yet, you're using a small candle inside a tin can, with holes punched in it. A hobo lantern. It provides light, but diffuses it enough that it's not visible from outside. Cooking? You're doing it before sunset, or you're eating cold food. The smell of cooked meat or bread travels hundreds of yards on the wind. You might as well ring a dinner bell. If you absolutely must cook, you're using a small twig stove outside in a concealed area, and you're burning dry wood that produces minimal smoke. Wet wood smokes. Smoke is visible for miles. The psychology works like this. In a collapse, you want to project the appearance of abandonment. An empty-looking house isn't worth the risk of checking. A house with lights on? That's a target. You're not trying to hide forever. You're trying to be invisible during the most dangerous 48 to 72 hours, when everyone is still panicking and violence is peaking. Outcome: you're a ghost. While other houses are getting kicked in, yours looks empty, cold, and already looted. That's 10 extra hours of sleep. That's keeping your supplies. That's survival. The lone wolf mistake. The fantasy sounds appealing. I'll handle this solo. I don't need anyone. I'll be safer alone. The brutal truth: you can't stay awake for 48 hours. You can't watch every entrance to your home simultaneously. You can't carry enough supplies to relocate if you need to. You can't treat your own injuries. You can't maintain 360-degree security. You are one person with 2 eyes, 2 hands, and a brain that needs 8 hours of unconsciousness per day to function. The moment you fall asleep, you're vulnerable. The moment you're injured, you're finished. The moment you need to make a critical decision under stress, you'll make the wrong one because there's no one to check your logic. Humans survived as a species because we're pack animals. We evolved to work in groups. Your brain is literally wired for cooperation. Mirror neurons, theory of mind, social bonding. Going solo isn't rugged individualism, it's statistical suicide. Before WW3 kicks off, you identify 2 or 3 people in your immediate area. Neighbors you trust, friends within walking distance, family members. You have a conversation. You say, if things go bad, we're teaming up. This is my plan. This is what I have. This is what I need. Let's agree now. You create a rally point, a specific location where you'll meet if communication is down. You establish a simple signal system, a chalk mark on a mailbox, a specific knock pattern, a colored cloth in a window. When the collapse happens, you link up within the first 6 hours. You pool resources. You divide labor. 1 person on watch, 1 person preparing food, 1 person reinforcing security. You rotate sleep in 4-hour shifts. You've just multiplied your survival odds by a factor of 3 because you're never truly alone, never completely vulnerable, and never without backup. The science comes from game theory. In a prisoner's dilemma scenario, which is what a collapse becomes, cooperation yields better outcomes than defection. A group of 3 can defend a position that would be overrun if held by 1. A group can forage, trade, and negotiate from a position of strength. And critically, a group provides psychological resilience. Isolation under stress causes cognitive decline, paranoia, and poor decision-making. Humans need social interaction to maintain mental health, especially in crisis. Outcome: you're not alone. You sleep in safety. You have redundancy. When one person is injured or sick, the group continues to function. You're not a lone target. You're a defended position. That's the difference between surviving the first week and becoming a statistic on day 3. Psychological warfare. The occupied house illusion. You've survived the first 48 hours. You're warm, hydrated, invisible, and grouped up. But you need one more layer of defense, making potential threats think twice before they even approach. The trick involves making your house look occupied by someone dangerous. Not occupied by you. Occupied by someone you wouldn't want to mess with. Take a pair of large boots, men's size 12 or bigger, and leave them visible outside your door, muddy and worn. That signals a large male presence. Hang a tactical vest or military-style jacket on a chair visible through a window gap. Just barely visible, like someone left it there. Scatter a few empty MRE packages near your trash area. If you can, get a "Beware of Dog" sign and install it even if you don't have a dog. Play a recording of a large dog barking on a loop, triggered by motion, using a battery-powered speaker hidden near your entrance. It doesn't have to be constant, just occasional, random, unpredictable. The psychology, uncertainty, and risk assessment. Humans are risk-averse by nature. A potential intruder is doing a cost-benefit analysis. What are the odds this is worth it versus the odds I get hurt? A house that looks occupied by someone prepared, armed, and possibly military-trained isn't worth the risk when there are easier targets next door. The dog barking adds another layer. Even desperate people don't want to deal with an aggressive animal. It's loud, it's unpredictable, and it can cause injuries that become fatal without medical care. You're not lying. You're creating strategic ambiguity. Maybe there is someone dangerous inside. Maybe there is a dog. Maybe there isn't. The point is that uncertainty is enough to make people move on. This is the same principle casinos use with security cameras. Half of them are fake, but you can't tell which ones, so you behave as if they're all real. Outcome: you've reduced your risk profile by 70% without firing a shot or confronting anyone. You're hard to target, risky to approach, and not worth the effort. That's survival. Everything comes down to physics, biology, and psychology. Your body is a heat engine that runs on calories and water. Your survival depends on managing entropy, keeping heat in, keeping contaminants out, keeping threats at a distance. The first 48 hours of WW3 aren't about being a hero or living out some action movie fantasy. They're about cold, ugly math. You're not fighting to win. You're fighting to not lose. There's a difference. Winning means thriving. Not losing means you're still breathing on day 3, while everyone who panicked, went solo, advertised their position, or failed to regulate their core temperature is already gone. You're not trying to be invincible. You're trying to be harder to kill than the environment around you and everyone else who didn't do the math. The bombs are just the opening act. The real war is against entropy, exposure, dehydration, and human stupidity, yours and everyone else's. The first 48 hours will sort the survivors from the bodies. Your job is to be in the first category by making unsexy, brutal, scientifically sound decisions that your past self would find extreme and your future self will recognize as the only reason you're still here. Stay warm. Stay hydrated. Stay invisible. Stay together. And for the love of physics, don't make it easy for the universe to kill you. It's trying hard enough already.